What's the process of taking an idea and actually turning it into a product?
The process is very consistent action. And even if you do a little tiny step in one day, that's still a step forward.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of New York 100. Today, I'm sitting with a business mogul. I gotta read this off actually. Featured in Inc. 5000, CNBC, Entrepreneur Magazine, Fast Company, and now sitting here with you in this New York 100 series, and co-founder of 3 businesses: the feminist genius, mother, Antonia.
Thank you so much.
Antonia, thank you for coming on the show. Truly appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, we actually met like a few months back. I saw her speak at an event, and I was like, okay, definitely got to get her on the show. So first thing I want to know is, how did this actually come about, Antonia Saint NY? How did we get here? How do we get to where we're at right now?
Well, I find that necessity is the mother of all invention.
Sorry, what?
Necessity. Okay. Yeah. And when you look at the world of products provided to women, some of the categories are severely lacking. So, for instance, found a problem with underwear not performing for women certain days of the month. So we created a best-in-class period underwear company that really disrupted the underwear business. And I did that starting in 2010, worked on that idea with my 2 co-founders. The name of that company is Thinx, and it's doing incredibly well, selling all around the world, lots of fans, and it's a great product. And actually, while I was working on that product, I was also dissatisfied with another product, and that was women's shoes. And what had happened was I had one free office space for us in the early days of Thinx, and we maintained that space. It was on the west side of the city, and there was no trains getting there. So I had to walk 15 minutes just to get there, and I was down to one pair of shoes that was comfortable and cute enough to get me through day and night. And I was like, this is crazy that all my shoes are painful. And so I just started to think about this idea while working on Thinx, and just kind of drew out sketches, like how could I make this product a better product for women? And so I started to develop a shoe that's a high-tech shoe that feels like a sneaker on the inside.
Okay, so
And,
we are going to get into this shoe.
yeah.
But I do want to touch on Thinx.
Yes.
So I know you mentioned it's an underwear product, and I know I'm not a woman, but yeah, I do know there's women watching here. So can you just go into detail and explain what Thinx products are, and how can people benefit from
So
them?
it came about because necessity is the mother of all invention. And my 2 co-founders and I, we identified a problem in the underwear space for women. And we all talked about our own problems with the underwears that we were being given by manufacturers and how they did not support us during every day of the month, particularly our monthly period. And so we decided that after talking to other girlfriends too, and them having problems as well, we decided, you know what, this is a huge problem that nobody is talking about. And there's a huge opportunity to actually create a solution that this marketplace and people really need. Okay, but if you're going to address a problem, you have to actually talk about it. It's kind of interesting. The French Polynesian word for taboo is actually, if you look at the root of it, it's menstruation. So things that are taboo to talk about are actually one of the things, menstruation. You got to talk about it to address it, to create solutions that are needed. So the original idea came about even years before the myself and my 2 co-founders talked about it. But the seed of us coming together to do something about it was in India, 2010. We were on a little trip to go to their cousin's wedding. They're half Japanese, half Indian. And we were talking about how we wanted to do good and do well in this world. We didn't just want to, work in our job and not really impact the world. And we were looking at some actually cases of like severe poverty in these areas where we were, and just seeing how different our lives were with people that were living in the places that we visited in India. And we're like, man, wouldn't it be amazing to actually make some good happen for us and also in developing parts of the world? So that seed of an idea, we linked to our eventual give back that we actually had with the period proof underwear. where every time we actually sold a pair of underwear, we would actually provide a pack of reusable washable cloth pads for women in the developing world, because we did find that young girls were falling behind from school, dropping out of school just because of something as simple as their period. We had issues with leaking and staining in the developed world, but then there were issues of girls not even going to school because of their monthly cycle. So we started to solve the problem ourselves, giving us a product that we needed, but also, you know, drove innovation in other parts of the world too. That was like the seed of additional passion to our purpose in creating the product. Okay. And so we started to develop the product. It's a period-proof underwear. It's an underwear that's stain-resistant, antimicrobial, moisture-wicking, leak-proof where you need it, and it's all encapsulated in a gorgeous black, like, you know, beautiful pair of underwear. You can't even tell there's all this high-tech technology on the inside. And it took us about 2 years of research and development to make it. And it ended up entering the marketplace 2014, around there. 2015, we had a much bigger launch, and now it is selling all around the world, you know, millions of fans. And it's really grown into this product that has disrupted a category. We, like you mentioned, we won Time Magazine's Best New Invention. We're on the CNBC list for fastest growing companies, Inc. 5000 for fastest growing companies. It's just, we really engaged the market and people with a solution that nobody was talking about and nobody was finding.
So what I get from that is, see, we have first world problems, right? You know, yeah, we have first world problems. But when you went back to India and you actually saw these things that, you know, we take for granted, and it doesn't impact us as much, but across the pond somewhere else, these minute problems that we don't consider can actually be very detrimental, very impactful to people in different countries. So you were able to pick up on that.
Right.
And so you went over there and you was inspired to create this product. And you did
Yes.
say that every product you sold, you gave away a reusable, washable cloth.
Cloth pads. Yeah, we partnered with a partner at the time called AfroPads. It was in Uganda, where some 80 million girls are not in school for reasons as simple as their monthly cycle. So we were struck by that and knew that we wanted to do something about that too. But the first conversation we had was sort of sharing ideas that we had for what we could do in the world to do good and do well. And Mickey had shared with me, one of my co-founders, at this occasion we were sitting and talking about this, that her and her sister had an idea for a stain-resistant underwear. And my ears pricked up and I was like, oh my God, why does this not exist? Like, we all need this. And they had researched a company that actually did make stain-resistant technology. Well, that had never gone further than just that exploration up until our conversation. When we had our conversation, something came alive in all of us, and we were like, wait a second, we could actually start to make this thing. Like, let's start to actually do this. We started to meet every weekend when we got back home, November 2010 through the end of that year into 2011. And I just knew that this product needed to exist. I wanted it, and I talked with other girlfriends and they were like, oh my God, I've had issues. I don't know when my period's coming. I get surprises. Oh, a woman told me, oh, my 13-year-old daughter, she's so nervous to go to school because, she doesn't know when she's gonna get her period. And I was one of those girls. I was 13 years old. I was with the running back of our football team in science class. He says, Tony, I think you might have sat in some ketchup. And I was like, oh my God, I did not sit in any ketchup. And so I had to, and it was pajama day. So I had to go in my little silk, little cute pajamas to the bathroom and wash it out. And I'm soaking wet and I'm so embarrassed. And no girl should have to go through that. So I, being my father's daughter, I'll tell you a little bit about that in a bit, but my dad was the chief of design at General Motors. I grew up seeing through the eyes of design and seeing how design could either make your life better or make your life worse. And so when I thought about this underwear product, his DNA came alive inside of me. And I was like, how can I make an underwear be better?
Gotcha. There's a few more points that I do want to talk about.
Yeah.
You said you built this on a weekend. So when you started Thinx, were you at your job or?
Yes, I was at my job. I was working in a recording studio in the ad business and TV film business.
So tell me, do you advise people to, work as a side hustle, have their job and work on the side? Or would you just say just go all in and jump right in from the very beginning?
I advise that if you can do it on the side hustle, definitely do it on the side in the beginning so that you can get your legs underneath you, like set up your LLC, set up all the contractual things that you need to run the business. You could start getting your domain names, just get like everything that you need on social media. Find your co-founders, somebody who's passionate is going to hold you accountable and also inspire you. Like that was one great thing about Mickey Rada and I, like my co-founder for Thinx, is that I was inspired by their projects they were already working on and who they were as individuals, and they were also inspired by me and the things that I was doing and who I was as a person. And we just kept, by meeting too, we kept that energy going.
Yeah, and you said you met on a weekly basis.
On a weekly. Yeah,
so I just want to dive into that just a little bit more. So like when someone's first starting their business, I remember when I first got started, I was actually working at a bank, and then I would do my 9 to 5, and then after that I'd go back home and I started buying my domains and investing in, like research, and I started buying everything that I needed. And then so when I went full time, I was able to go. And even I did that as well. I did a little bit of traveling, same thing. And so it worked really well for me. So when is that time you say, okay, I've done what I'm working part-time here, but it's time for me to go all in. It's time for me to actually go full-time on this. So when is the time to go all in?
Well, the time for me was, I had spent, it was all through 2011 into part of 2012 working at this job, right? And my soul was just saying, you got to make the leap, man. Like, you want to do this. If you're going to do this and actually make it successful, you've got to take the leap. And that was the time when we were planning a Kickstarter video. And I knew that somebody needed to focus on that launch full time. And someone had to focus on the development of the product full time. I am the one that led the development of the product, the design of it. I found the production team. I was the COO, setting up all aspects of the company in the beginning, from the trademarks to writing the patent myself. I wrote the patent myself, and finding what styles we wanted to create, how we were going to approach the market, who our production partner was going to be, what the deliverables were going to be. And none of this stuff had I done before. None of this stuff. But something through the internet, I was also inspired by Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She wrote her own patent for her footless pantyhose. And I was like, you know what? This woman was a stand-up comedian, and she also sold copy machines. And I was like, a woman like her can go into starting this billion-dollar business and really provide a category and a set of solutions for women that need them. Myself, with a classical cellist, background. I went to Northwestern University for communications. I was in advertising, marketing, and PR, not at all in product design or entrepreneurship. My parents were entrepreneurs. They had a business at home as well as my dad being a GM, but it wasn't really in my wheelhouse, but yet I had such a desire to do this and make a difference, not only for myself, but also the women in the developing world. I was motivated to make that leap.
I think you're so talented that all these things just kind of came natural, and like you said, you didn't do these things before. Like you didn't do any of these things before, so it all came kind of new to you. It was probably innate. So I do you did a lot in this last decade or half decade, within the last 10 years. You've accomplished a lot. So I do want to kind of peel back the layers just a little bit, and yeah, you said that you didn't do any of the things before that you were doing, but I want to get into the patent. Like, how did you come about doing a patent?
Right, I know. Thank God we live in the era of Google, so you can Google other patents that are out there, and you can see their language, you can see how they make their various claims of how your product is different. You go to USPTO.gov, I think is the website.
Okay, now you know.
Yeah, and you file your preliminary patent, because it is important to get your ideas protected, especially if you have an innovation, which we do have. I mean, we won Time Magazine's Best Invention, rightly so, because we really created a product that was best in class and unique. It's stain resistant, it's antimicrobial, it's moisture wicking, it's leak proof in certain areas, and it's beautiful. So it was appealing to the customer too, in addition to it having all these high-tech properties, right? So writing that patent, identified all the things that were different about it and was very particular in how I was making it, how the cuts and the design, we have design patents as well, were laid out, and got a team of illustrators to help me make the art for the, government approved illustrations for the patent. And again, Sarah Blakely, having written that patent herself for the footless pantyhose, I was able to really draw on that inspiration to do it.
Lastly,
And then had a legal team involved once it was done to make sure that whatever the final filing was going to be, it was officially with all the legal speak that needed to be, had. But I hired that lawyer after I'd done a lot of work already.
okay, so you did the foundations first, and you pretty much built the basis of it, the foundation, and then you hired
Yes.
a lawyer to actually
Yes.
go through it and make sure everything was right and proper. But I do want to know why did you feel as if you needed a patent?
Because we wanted to protect whatever market share we were going to develop and come into the marketplace with a product that created a solution. We wanted to protect that because competitors come up, right? When a good idea is shown to be a good idea, other competitors are like, oh, that's intriguing. That's a white space they've identified that's not being served. I'm going to now try and enter that territory as well. But at the end of the day, though, I think it does come down very much to your engaged community around your company, the people that believe in what you're doing and how you communicate with that community. Because you think about somebody like Nike, right? There are many other athletic companies that are out there, but there's really only one Nike that communicates the way they do and works with their star athletes the way they do, and also, yes, provides innovative, disruptive products the way they do. But there's that community base, there's that energy around that brand that really keeps people coming back to them and not the other guys, right?
Okay, so my question is, what's the process of taking an idea, and like you said, you went to India and with your friends, and then you were able to we were inspired to create this product.
Yeah.
So, what's the process of taking an idea and actually turning into a product?
The process is very consistent action. And even if you do a little tiny step in one day, that's still a step forward. And so for me, in the beginning, I was the one that led the design of the product. I was the COO setting up all aspects of the business. And I just, every single day did a little bit that I could. And we also, my two co-founders and I, we got together on the weekends and did what we could to keep moving the business forward. It was not easy creating a disruptive product. Not easy at all. You have to get manufacturers to get on board with you. You have to convince them that it's a good idea. Even though you know yourself it's a good idea, you have to convince others it's a good idea. And those things take time. So the other thing I will tell you as a entrepreneur, anyone out there listening, is that you have to be so resilient in the face of obstacles and just know that whatever is coming up against you to try and stop you from pursuing this idea, if you feel strongly in your heart that this is something that the world needs and that you want to do and you want to get behind and get passionate about and dedicate hours and days and years of your life towards creating, keep going. Like really keep going, because you have this human life, right? And you are going to live from A to Z. And how are you going to fill those days? And if you can fill it with actually accomplishing things of value and purpose for this world, go for it and don't stop. Because there are many peaks and valleys for an entrepreneur. There are times when you feel like it is just gonna end and you just have to keep picking yourself up and going, finding the solution around whatever obstacle you have in front of you.
And I have to say that personally, this is why I actually started this series, because there's this thing that motivation, there's this conversation out there that motivation is garbage. Yeah, like people were saying that, there's no need for motivation, and I'm in total disagreement with that. Like trust me, like I know, entrepreneurship has its ups and downs. That's why I created this series, so that people like you can say this exact same thing and tell someone you on the camera, why, you should keep going, be persistent, and continue to follow your dreams and passions. that's why I created this series so that people can be inspired by people like you to keep on going. So I appreciate you saying that. All right, so I actually want to bring this back to what you built here at Antonia Saint NY. And so why focus on hills? Why did you decide to focus on hills?
Okay, so when I was working at the Thinx offices, it was all the way on the west side of the city in New York City. And I had to take like a 15-minute walk just to get there. And my feet were killing me. I was down to one pair of shoes that was cute enough and comfortable enough to get me through day and night, even though I had like 60 pairs of shoes. And I was like, there's got to be a better way. Like, why are beautiful shoes uncomfortable and why are comfortable shoes so ugly? And so I said, there's got to be a shift here. And my father's DNA, again, the designer DNA, came alive inside of me, just like I did with the underwear. And I started to think about how I could make a woman's shoe better. Shoe I've never really been able to wear, but I love the look of, is a classic black high heel. A classic. Every woman needs a pair of these, but they're historically so painful, they kill you.
Now, okay, so...
And so I started to focus on this one because I really wanted a woman to have this solution too.
And okay, I'm just asking because as a man, I don't know. And I'm telling you, like, heels, for me, as a man, it can be quite annoying, you know, I'm on a date and, you know, heels breaking and whatnot. So, like, as a man, as a woman, like, why are heels so important? Like, why do women love heels so much?
You know what? A heel is just, it's a beautiful silhouette. It makes anything from even a potato sack. A woman could literally wear a potato sack, put on a pair of heels, that thing all of a sudden is elevated to another fashionable level. And a woman does feel, women have been surveyed through time, and there are surveys that have been done even recently by different foot associations, shoe companies. Women feel more confident. They move different. They just feel more together when they're wearing a heel. A lot of women, not all women, I will not say all women, but a lot of women do. Problem is, though, they've just historically been so painful. And, you know, there's just something about a heel. There just is something about a heel. What I did with this is that when a woman actually walks on a high heel like this, she's coming down on the ball of her foot 2.5 times her body weight. So if you're a 120-pound woman, you've got 300 pounds going on the ball of your foot. So I said, how about we build this up, triple cushioning under the ball of the foot to give that woman a bounce back when she walks. And we've done that. A woman comes forward on the tips of her toes over here and pushes into the top of the shoe.
You mind if I just grab a sample from over there?
Yeah. So a woman actually comes down and she's being pushed into the front of the shoe. Doesn't it feel amazing? It feels amazing.
Play basketball
it is literally sneaker-like technology on the inside. We call it our soft surround system, our patented soft surround system. Even my flats are not as comfortable as these, and that's also why I started to create a flat, because flats are also historically not comfortable.
But I do have a question now. How do you fix this bit? The stem?
Yeah.
Because, like, I know this part, like, often breaks. I remember I was working with a girl.
It breaks, it nicks, it tears. So I like to say this. We have actually created the company based on the 3 C's, okay? Because a woman, when she's given a diamond or presents herself with a diamond, it's the 4 or the 5 C's. She's got color, carat, clarity, cut, sometimes even certification for that diamond. Yet it's just an ornament on her hand or around her neck. Why are we not holding our shoes up to a high standard as well? So I like to call our standard the 3 C's.
Yes,
so we've got.
Yeah, I do understand. You do have the 3 C's, but I do want to focus on that one individually. Okay. So the first C is comfort.
The C of comfort. And so does that shoe give you comfort? Is it developed in such a way where the whole foot, from the sides to the front to the top to the bottom, is going to be surrounded and feel good? So we did that with the shoe. We've got, you know, side cushions for support. We've got anti-blister tabs. We've got triple arch cushioning. We've got support on the tops of your feet. It's an incredible sensation. So is it comfortable? Then, is it customized fit? Does it actually fit you? Studies have shown 60% of the population actually has 2 different size feet. 2 different size feet. And in the world of shoe sizes, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, necessitates a different size, but yet shoe companies are saying, hey, you've got to buy 2 of the exact same pair together And sorry, one size.
Okay.
And they're also giving us one size fits all, where they're saying you're one width, you're a standard width. But actually, women are pretty much either narrow or wide. And hardly are they standard, but they just try and make it where, okay, you just have to size up a half size to get your width. That's not right either.
I actually do want to touch on that because when we first met, you were actually talking about logistics. And I do want to touch on that because I want people to know exactly how they're benefiting from purchasing for a company like you. And like you said, people can buy different sizes for each foot. And I want to touch on like the logistics and how do you as a company ensure that you're able to, supply these to the customers, different sizes for each foot.
I mean, we allow people to order a separate right and a left shoe. We actually have a split shoe box that comes like so. And so you're able to actually, order a separate size per foot. So we do it that way. You can, if you have a bunion, 70% of women have bunions, which is a little bump on the big toe. You can order a slightly wider shoe for that foot that has that issue and have a narrower width for the shoe that doesn't need that. So we also have an easy return exchange policy. You try a shoe, you think the fit just needs to go up just a tiny bit, send that one shoe back that you've want to change out for another size, and then we'll send you another size. It's very, very easy. We also are working on a fit profile system through the website that we have your data, your specific size saved, so that anytime you order a shoe, it's saved with us. And it's personalized to you. Customized fit is personalized to you. It's your own unique size. For instance, for me, I'm a 7.5B on my right, and I'm a 7.5C on my left, and that's awesome. I love being able to do that.
All right, so I just want to get this. Right. So a customer can purchase the same shoe at a different size.
Yes.
Okay, and the third C.
And then the third C is actually construction. So one thing I found with women's shoes from the highest price point to definitely the lowest price point is that heel tips would pop off even after one or two wears. You would get a nicked or shredded back of the heel. You'd get it stuck in a grate or just something would hit it and then it'd be shredded. It would look awful. This would scuff too quickly. The toe tip would wear down and the bottom, the outsole, would look awful. Even those red bottoms, okay, they scuff, they turn white unless you do something to maintain them. Okay, so for us, we have a durable microfiber leather upper that makes it resistant to scuffs. We built up the tip of the toe so that doesn't wear down. This is a ballistic nylon heel, a patented ballistic nylon heel, so no more nicks. And these last 5 to 7 times longer. Wow. So we made it where this shoe is going to keep up with the woman too, right? And so I live also along the philosophy of we have to create products that have enduring value. We live on a planet that has finite resources, yet we are throwing things away the minute they're past an expiration date. And I want to create products that have enduring value. So underwear that lasts, shoes that last, right? Things that don't end up in the landfill quicker. So we have to respect our earth and its resources. We also lead innovation for more sustainable materials. I want to have, carbon neutral company. That's a goal of ours, to be a carbon neutral company. So that's important for business, to care about our planet. You have to.
So it seems to me that you put a lot of effort and thought into selling a product. Like you said with Thinx, the whole trip to India and getting the inspiration from there. And then, with Antonia Saint NY, it's the scuffs in the shoes, the breakage and the comfort. And you put a lot of thought into creating each and every one of your products. And so I have a couple questions, and it's about selling, related to sales. So I have a friend, right? And, she's a good friend of mine. And then she never likes it in my post. I was like, why did you like it in my post? And she was like, man, because Amadeus, you're always selling something. And I was like, good, because I want to sell an idea, and that is, pursue your dreams. So I want to know, at Antonia Saint NY and all of your products and brands that you've built, what are you actually selling? What's that intrinsic thing that you feel your brand is actually selling?
To be perfectly clear on that, really what we're selling is empowerment for the women who actually use these products. We're enabling them to keep their mind focused on what they're doing, what they're saying, who they want to be, the destiny they want to fulfill, and not on the pain that they're feeling from their footwear, or if they're going to leak and stain because they don't have the right underwear, right? So it's like giving women solutions so that all of her head can stay in the game is the important part. And that's really, it's a you know, one of the taglines for the shoe company is you can't break a glass ceiling with a glass slipper. And there's lots of glass ceilings for women. We still haven't become president, right? We still haven't reached more than 5% of CEO positions in the Fortune 500. It's 4%. So if a woman's ever going to be doing those things, she can't be worried about simple things like pain and underwear that fails her, right?
Yeah, so Antonia, I could actually sit with you for like another 30, 40 minutes. But we do have to wrap up here. And there's a final couple questions I'd like to ask all of my guests, right?
Yeah.
First off is urgency or patience?
Oh, I think you have to have a balance of both.
Had to choose one.
If you had to choose one, I mean, urgency you need because you only have a certain finite runway typically to actually get that plane off that ground. So you have to have the fire to like wake up in the morning, do what you got to do, like write the emails you got to write, make the phone calls you got to call, and you got to do that. But I do have to say, in that urgency, got to have a little patience because sometimes it doesn't happen right away, and you got to just keep going.
Yeah, so what I like to say is I'm urgent with my actions.
Yes,
Patient with the
exactly.
outcome.
And release the attachment to the actual result because you might be so focused on it being a certain way, but the universe has something else planned for you that you can't even imagine. And you just got to let like some of these like divine luck kind of thing happen.
Release
and work.
Release the attachment to
Yeah,
the
release
outcome.
the attachment.
Love that.
Yeah.
And my last question is
Yes.
New York in one word.
Opportunity.
Opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
guys and ladies, if you haven't already, I mean, this shoe right here, Antonia Saint New York, literally feels like you can play football in this. I mean, American football, British football, whatever football you wanna play, but it's built like a sneaker. It's so comfortable, and I mean, if I could wear heels, I would wear this heel. So I recommend, I vouch for this. If you haven't already, go check this website. I'll leave the link below. And thanks guys for watching. Remember, be great. Cheers.